here is you want a sure sign that now the establishment is starting to say the quiet part out loud, right? So here's John Heilman on MSNBC with Willie Geist, and he's going to tell you that Bernie Sanders, meaning a candidate who represents workers, is a big problem for the Democratic Party. Watch this.
There's no doubt that if Bernie Sanders is looking like he's going to run away with it, for the Democratic establishment, that's almost as scary as losing Donald. Like, beating Donald Trump is really important. Almost as important as keeping Bernie Sanders from being the party's nominee.
Yeah. Hey, you guys, stopping a fascist is really important, but stopping a guy who's going to give us health care is just as important, okay? We got to first stop that guy, and then we can think about stopping the fascists. But watch the rest of the people on the panel. Nobody blinks an eye. Watch.
That will help Mike Bloomberg if that's where we end up in the first week in March. Really, the people...
That's it. They are like, oh, yeah, you're right. Bernie's a big fucking problem. That's what they're all saying. Go ahead.
We're like 5 years away from every newscast just being a bunch of people sitting around going, what do you think poor people do?
What he's saying is, beating Donald Trump is really important, unless that means uniting behind the guy who could actually do it. That's what they're saying. So there you have it. I mean, when we're young, they teach you winning's not the most important thing. But to some of the Democrats, they really are serious about not fucking winning. I mean, like, winning's not the biggest thing. You're taking that too seriously. You guys should try winning. And here's how they, you saw this. I did a video about this. Here we go.
Then flip it over.
Who in the fuck does a coin toss like that? Who does, first of all, you're not supposed to feel up the fucking coin. What is he trying to finger the coin? Watch this. So he catches it first. Yeah, you catch it. Yeah, dumb fuck. You catch it, and then you go like that. You don't go, caught it. What? Oh, it's, oh. And then he does it twice. Watch, he does it again. Watch. And then he does, boom. What the fuck was that?
He flips it again.
What? Can you imagine if they did that at an NFL football game and the ref was like back and that, like, what?
There was a coin toss in a playoff game about 15 years ago. The guy fucked up, and people went bananas.
Yeah, I remember that, actually.
An NFL play. People went bananas. What he's doing is a trick I learned as a kid to cheat my buddies. You flip a coin in the air, and as it grabs in your hand, you rub the side, and you can tell the head or the on a quarter very easily. I used to run. I'm a grifter, so grifter, comedian, same thing. But you just catch it and then feel the head and then whatever they'd say in my hand. And I'd say, okay, and then I'd flip it in my hand. I could do it 10 times faster than this fucking idiot.
Yeah, he looks like he's trying to do a card trick, but he's never done it before.
Yeah.
Like he's like, oh, is this your card? Wait for it.
It's unbelievable. And it's like, I tweeted out, I was like, hey, Tom Perez, couldn't you get a rock, paper, scissors official to come and do this? But you see this idiot, you know what I mean? You go, rock, paper, scissors, and you'd have paper, and I'd go, rock, paper, scissors, rock.
It's like scissor paper.
Scissor paper, rock, paper, scissors, paper, rock, rock.
Wait, Tom, which
All
one
right.
did you pick? I picked values. It beats all of them.
Graham, let's try it. You be the rock.
Okay.
And then I'll do this, but I'll be the guy who does the fucking up. You
Okay.
do the rock.
Okay.
Ready?
All right. We're going.
Ready? One, two, three.
Oh.
I win.
Whoa. What? No. Wait.
Let's do it again.
No,
Ready?
I thought I saw a scissor.
Ready?
Okay. Ready.
Ready?
1, 2, 3. Oh.
Oh, I did it.
Oh, that's democracy in action, everybody. It's Jimmy. It felt like you led with your values. That was amazing.
You know, when I see something like this deciding an election,
Heads.
I mean, the fucking guy who does that? And when I see that, you know what I think? not only is democracy alive, but it is thriving. This is what they were reporting all weekend. Buttigieg holds a lead in Iowa, which is exactly, I don't want to be a conspiracy theorist, but I'm not an idiot either, and I could see exactly what was happening. This was planned. This is exactly planned. This is the DNC in bed with CNN, and they're all doing this. And this guy she says, my son just said, Mom, I have terrible news, P1. I said, no, sweetheart, only 62% of the precincts have reported. He then asked me why they're only releasing parts of results, and I said, see how you thought P1 is to create a false narrative. That's why. So that's exactly what they're doing. And it doesn't make you crazy to recognize that that's what's happening. Because whenever there's a mistake, it always goes in favor of the establishment. The mistake never goes, oh, we fucked up, Bernie Sanders got 1 million votes. And that's it. We're just going to declare it over, and he wins, and we're going to go on. It's a mistake, but we're just going to accept it.
This tweet sounds like the start for like the best children's educational program ever. You know what I mean? Like, today's lesson is manufacturing consent. Brought to you by the letter P for propaganda.
What Iowa showed us, like leading up to Iowa, we've seen who the corporate Democrats wanted. They wanted Kamala. They wanted Robert Francis O'Rourke, who's not Latino at all. Beto's a fake name. It's like me calling myself Paco Elwood. They want all these things, but Mayor Pete is like, this past week you went, oh, he's the deep states candidate.
Yes.
He's the Navy intelligence officer. They hatched this last spring. This is all. That's why that speech he gave was like, we shocked the world, I won. Because he just was like, I know they're cheating. I know I'm going to win. That's why he gave that speech. Every other candidate was like, man, it looks good. We don't know the results yet. We might win. We don't know. Mayor Pete was like, we shocked the world because my campaign gave $42,000 to Shadow to help build the app. The head of Shadow tweeted out a year ago how she's a huge fan of mine, so that's how we shock the world, everybody.
And do you know that Buttigieg also donated $140,000 to the Iowa Democratic Party? Did you know that?
Wow.
I just found that out right before the show. I don't have it in the thing. Now, Nellie, you were in Iowa, right? You went to help?
Yeah, I have, if you want them at the table, I have these, I'm caucusing for Bernie. They went last night.
What's that?
People really like them. A lot of them disappeared last night.
Oh, yeah?
Like votes. But canvassing, a lot of it's very disheartening, and you get a lot of not homes, even when they are home, and you get some hostility, and you get, people that are depressed, and you're invading their sanctuary. But once in a while, it's not so bad. So there was this one door I knocked, and it was this kid. He was about 19 or 20. And I said, are you planning on caucusing? And he said, yeah, but I think I'm going to go for Biden. And I said, why? And he said, I don't think Bernie can get health care through. And I said, oh, no, it's quite the opposite. Because if he got in, we'd have his back, because we're the grassroots. And I said, it's not a want, it's a need, it's an imperative. And it's not even about a person or a candidacy. We're building a movement. And he said, oh, okay.
Yeah, cool, sweet, all right, yeah.
That's how it works.
Yeah.
Wow, that canvassing is really something. Oh, okay. You made a good case.
Actually, we can pass legislation. Shit, I never thought about it that way.
So, nobody could call this, right? So this is amid irregularities, AP unable to declare a winner in Iowa. That's from the 6th, right? Which was Friday, right?
Hey, Jimmy, I read when Tom Perez figured out that there was something wrong with the app, he had everybody turn it off for 10 seconds and then plug it back in.
Didn't work. Fair says manufacturing success. CNN's premature parade for Buttigieg in Iowa, right? So this is Are we crazy to think that somehow CNN, the DNC, we're working together with the Buttigieg campaign? Does that make us crazy? Okay. Because here, when CNN, the AP, every other major news outlet was saying we can't call Iowa, the results are inconsistent, we can't trust the numbers. Well, guess what? Pete Buttigieg goes on with Andrew Cuomo, and Andrew Cuomo, tough guy Fredo, you know Fredo.
I'm smart.
Tough guy Fredo, who will wreck your shit, decides to say to Pete Buttigieg, just this, watch this.
The Democratic Party just released the final batch of results from the caucuses.
Yes, and I'm ready to throw those results down fucking stairs.
Democratic Party just released the final batch of results from the caucuses. 100% of precincts reported. You are holding a narrow lead of 1/10 of a percentage point over Senator Sanders on the state delegate equivalence, which is the metric that we use to determine a winner.
Which is how our bullshit system works. Somebody with less votes gets to win once again. It's America, democracy. Let's export this to the rest of the world. Do you have elections? Your loser should be the winner. Okay.
What is your reaction?
Well, it's fantastic news to hear that we won.
It's fantastic news, you know. I mean, we didn't really win, but the app really came through for us. Isn't that fantastic? That's great news. We don't have actual democracy and whatnot. Whatever the fuck. That's great news. I'm Pete Buttigieg.
That's great news. I mean, I'm a little blown away. The CIA said I was supposed to win by 10 points, but all right, well, play this narrow margin.
It's really amazing that we pulled this shit off. I mean, we called the app Shadow, for crying out loud. We gave it a creepy-ass name. We only gave it that name because Deep State Dwellers was taken. That's the only reason why.
I mean, this is great news. We got less votes and we still win. Here's hoping we can go against the will of the voters in 49 more states. Am I right? This is so bad. Even Crystal Ball called it out because they knew. You know, I like Crystal Ball too, but you guys make sure you don't start liking her more than me, all right? Because that would really suck. This is fun for me. So here's what she said.
And by using these results, when it's so close that they themselves say are wrong, and using that to declare Pete the victor, that undermines democracy in a greater extent than any Russian plot ever.
Right, and you know what's interesting?
Yes. So CNN saying that Buttigieg is the winner when their own network is saying those results are questionable undermines democracy more than any bullshit Russiagate scandal or anything. And I'm with her on that.
Yeah, is Rachel Maddow going to be screaming about Iowa for the next 3 years? Is that what's going to shadow and all this and do all these things about shadow and shadow and shadow? No.
No, dude, seriously, bro. She is obsessed with me.
So watch this. So Bernie Sanders decides, fuck it, I'm declaring victory because we know. Because we know I got more votes, and he says so. Here.
This is on Monday night. Some 6,000 more Iowans came out on caucus night to support our candidacy than the candidacy of anyone else. And when 6,000 more people come out for you in an election than your nearest opponent, we here in northern New England call that a victory.
And so they go back to MSNBC, the liberal network, whose anchor just happens to be the lying fucking communications director for George Bush's war criminal organization. That's what they give you for your liberals. Liberals, we're gonna get somebody from Bush to tell you about Bernie Sanders. That's what's happening. And what's what she says?
Trying that. Who called it? It's not on my. Didn't he tie with Mayor?
So she's like, what? I don't see that he won. Where is it written down? What are you looking for? An actual point of view? Is that what you're looking for? Here we go.
Like the 37-year-old, not even anymore mayor.
Well, and you know what's sad? Not to tar him with the same brush, but I mean that how he's disingenuous to say the least. He's not telling the truth. I mean,
Yeah. So Bernie Sanders is not telling the truth. He's saying he got 6,000 more votes than anyone, when in fact, he got 6,000 more votes than anyone. Fucking liar. Watch this.
the problem with Iowa was, and everything we've learned about elections since 2000 is, what do you want to do? Simplify, simplify, simplify. What did Iowa do in the caucuses? They made it more complex. They had 3 different metrics. So what Bernie is doing is counting that first metric of people who came in that night willing to support Bernie, but many of whom switched to Mayor Pete. Mayor Pete, my heart goes out to him because having covered many Iowa caucuses.
His heart goes out to him. His heart goes out to Mayor Pete. His heart goes out to Mayor Pete. Can you believe that?
Look for that headline at 11 o'clock or midnight. He would have gotten these incredible headlines, the same headlines that Barack Obama had in 2008.
Yep, and then he would have let us down just like Barack Obama did in 2009 through 16. By the way, my heart goes out to poor Pete, too, for this. I mean, all the flags in the wine cellars are at half-mast. You know that.
You know, he's got that boyish, psychopathic thing, you know?
Yeah.
Because I saw on Steph's Twitter feed, I don't know if anyone's seen it, but when he was being called out on the wine cave and he was rubbing his thumbs together and then he was clenching a fist. And I really thought it was instructive. You should check it out. If
I didn't see it.
It's the other side when he thinks he's not on top.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, here's what Bernie's talking about. That's the first round. He did get 6,114 votes, and that's from CNN. And from NBC News, it says the reallocated preferences, Bernie still beat him, 45,000 to 43,000. So Bernie fucking won. But here's how bad the news media rigs this for against a workers candidate. Pete Buttigieg is going to lose this. Bernie's going to win, but it's still shitty. You ready? Watch this.
Jess mentioned that Bernie Sanders set expectations very high, and whatever happens, it's not clear he will have met them. Even if he does eke out a lead, it won't be a decisive win in Iowa, not the kind of decisive win that I think he was looking for. So.
Yeah, you know who really did shitty? That guy who won. Ask any corporate reporter, they'll tell you coming in first sucks. Boy, how is he going to recover from winning?
Well, this goes into the whole long-term deep state scam of getting Buttigieg in there. One of their tactics, I did a video on this. This Bernie supporter, Veronica Persimmon, did this article in Medium. She goes, the 5 stages or 5 steps on how to doing this. And one of them is manufacturing a surge. So that's a big part of it is to say, remember a couple months ago, Pete's in a strong 4th place. So they've been manufacturing this fake, like, oh, Pete's climbing up there. Pete's climbing up there. So even Bernie winning, they have to go, yeah, but it wasn't the big win we thought. And Pete's starting to climb up there. Right. That's what it is. So all the vote, no matter who, the vote blue, no matter who, people that aren't paying that much attention, they're just hearing this. They're like, I don't know who to vote for because I'm too fucking dumb to pay attention or whatever. So, oh, I hear Pete's surging. I guess I'll go with him. That's what this whole tactic is.
And here's what CNN puts as the Chiron. As president, what will you do to protect the integrity of American elections from foreign interference? Hey, how about from DNC and Democratic Party interference? Can we get that? Yeah, don't look at what's actually happening. Look over there. Look over there. And here is Pete Buttigieg. I showed you this before in a video, but here is what a sociopath looks like when he knows the system is rigged in his favor. Ready? Here we go. Ready? Here he comes.
Was it premature to declare a victory?
How do you feel about Iowa?
How do you feel?
You said victorious last night. You think that's too early, or you feel like your numbers are going well?
Who fucking does that? All right, I'm gonna. All right, ready? I'm gonna walk out, and then you guys start asking me questions. Ready?
All right, what do you think about the Iowa polls? What do you think?
Wow.
Are you involved with the Shadow app?
said
in
you
any
win,
way?
but they
How
didn't
about
count
Tara
anything.
McGowan?
They
Are you
didn't-
connected to
I
Tara
don't think
McGowan
you
and the Shadow
actually
app?
won.
Are you
We're curious.
still with the intelligence
Why do
community?
you want to?
Are you working for the deep state?
Okay, why can't you look me in the eye like a psychopath who loves
Is it
watching
true
things?
you're a robot?
How many animals have you murdered?
Come see a live Jimmy Dore show. We just added February 28th in Burbank, California. We'll also be in Miami and Chicago. Go to jimmydorecomedy.com for a link for all the tickets for all our live shows and become a premium member at jimmydorecomedy.com/join. We give you hours of bonus material every week. Thanks for your support.